Hello, friends. Money is not just a piece of paper or a digital number. It shapes our thoughts, decisions, and the direction of our lives. Some people earn it quickly but can't hold on to it, while others become rich despite having an average income. Why does this happen? Without understanding the psychology of earning, saving, and growing money, we can never manage it properly. Morgan Housel's book, The Psychology of Money, isn't just about investing or finance. It teaches us about the habits, behaviors, and perspectives we should have concerning money. This book tells us that money isn't just about numbers. It's a game of emotions and mindset. In this video, we'll learn 8 golden rules of money psychology from this book. These 8 rules can completely change your thinking and the way you make financial decisions. So watch this video until the end and deeply understand the psychology of money so you can control your financial future. Rule 1. No one is crazy. When we step into the world of money, we assume that the decisions we make are completely rational and well thought out. But in reality, this isn't true. Each of us is influenced by our experiences, upbringing, environment, and the stories we've heard since childhood. When it comes to money, no one is entirely rational. Instead, they make decisions based on their experiences. Imagine a person who grew up in the 1950s. They wouldn't have seen the Great Depression, but their grandfather, who faced unemployment, hunger, and financial hardship during that period, would view money differently. He might consider saving the most important thing, while his grandson, who grew up in a stable economy, might be more interested in investment and taking risks. Both have different perspectives on money, but that doesn't mean one is wrong and the other is right. Every person makes money-related decisions based on their life experiences. For example, a person who lost their job in the 2008 financial crisis might be afraid to invest in the stock market, while another person who bought shares at very low prices during the same period and later made huge profits might consider the stock market a great opportunity. This shows how our past shapes our financial decisions. The problem is that none of us can personally experience the entire economic history of the world. We only know what we've seen in our lives or what our parents and surroundings have taught us. If someone was born into a wealthy family, they won't have much concern about money, whereas someone born into poverty will think entirely differently about saving and spending money. This is why people use money in different ways. The important thing to understand is that no one is wrong in their own way. A poor farmer who suddenly earns some money might spend it immediately because they've lived in scarcity their whole life and learned that money should be used as soon as it comes into hand. On the other hand, a person from a wealthy family might think about investing money for a long time. Both have different perspectives, but that doesn't mean either of them is crazy. We often judge others' money-related decisions. When someone who wins the lottery quickly goes bankrupt, we think they were foolish, but we don't see what kind of financial background that person came from. For them, receiving such a large sum of money suddenly was like throwing someone into the middle of the ocean without teaching them to swim. They don't know how to handle it. Similarly, some people, despite earning a lot of money, always live in fear that they will lose it. They've gone through circumstances in childhood where a lack of money deeply affected their lives. Therefore, they can never spend comfortably. On the other hand, some people take money very lightly and make overly risky decisions. The reality is that no one is crazy in financial matters. Everyone just thinks and acts according to their experiences. Until we understand that people are influenced by their past, we will continue to think that they are making thoughtless decisions. But if we try to understand others' perspectives, we will realize that everyone is right in their own way. In the world of money, no one is completely logical. We are all influenced by our personal stories, experiences, and emotions. Understanding that every person's perspective is based on their life experiences can stop us from judging others and give us a new perspective on money. Rule 2. Luck and risk. We often attribute success to hard work and smart decisions, but is that really the case? Can only hard work and intelligence make someone rich? Or does luck and risk also play a significant role? Imagine if Bill Gates had been born in a small village in India where schools didn't even have computers. Would he be who he is today? Would he have laid the foundation for Microsoft? It's hard to say. Bill Gates' success is due to his hard work and intelligence, but he was also lucky that his school was one of the few in America that got computers first. He took advantage of that opportunity. But if that opportunity hadn't existed, the story might have been different. Consider another example. A lottery winner can become a millionaire, but if they spend all the money recklessly and become poor again in a few years, is it their foolishness? Or was it just a game of risk where they were lucky initially, but later luck left them? Luck and risk are two sides of the same coin. Just as we credit ourselves for our success, we blame others or circumstances for our failures. But the truth is that what happens in our lives is not entirely within our control. We can control our decisions, but not their outcomes. We assume that if someone is successful, they must have done everything right. But in reality, many hardworking and intelligent people don't succeed simply because they don't get the right opportunities. On the other hand, many people who don't have as much ability also achieve success just by being in the right place at the right time. This doesn't mean that hard work and intelligence have no value, but it is important to understand that luck and risk play a huge role in success and failure. Now, think if someone is making a lot of money in the stock market. Is it solely the result of their intelligence, or is it also possible that they are investing during a period when the market is rising rapidly? On the other hand, another person who is just as smart but invests during a recession might lose money. Our minds find it difficult to accept that some things are beyond our control. We idealize the stories of successful people and think that if we do the same, we will get the same results. But we forget that in every story, both luck and risk are at play. The biggest disadvantage of this is that we choose the wrong ideals. If someone succeeded purely due to luck and we start imitating them, we won't find success. Conversely, if someone was very hardworking but failed due to risk and we stop learning from them, we will lose a crucial lesson. So what should we do? First, we need to understand that no success or failure is solely due to an individual's qualities. We should carefully examine others' stories and understand whether they were lucky or if their strategy was truly effective. Additionally, we shouldn't be arrogant and attribute our success entirely to our hard work. It's possible that luck played a big role in our success. And most importantly, we shouldn't judge others' failures as pure foolishness because it's possible they did everything right, but were just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Luck and risk are aspects of our lives over which we have no control, but if we understand them, we can make our expectations more realistic, improve our decisions, and have greater empathy for others. Rule 3. Never enough. In the world of money, there's a peculiar trap laid, the desire to acquire more. No one says, "I have enough now, I'm satisfied." Whether it's a billionaire or an ordinary salaried person, everyone is running in the race for more. But does this race ever end? The most interesting story about this was told by politician and investor John Bogle. He recounted an incident where two famous writers, Kurt Vonnegut and Joseph Heller, met at a billionaire's house. Vonnegut jokingly said to Heller, "Do you know this billionaire earns more in a day than your best-selling book, Catch-22, earned in its entire lifetime?" Heller smiled and replied, "Yes, but I have something he will never have, the feeling of having enough." This is the feeling that very few people experience. The hunger for money becomes so strong that no one ever feels that it's enough. This isn't limited to the poor or middle class. This craving is seen even among billionaires. Think about why some wealthy people, who already have enough for 7 generations to live comfortably, still try to earn more through wrong means. They commit scams, break rules, take bribes, and sometimes even end up in jail. Do they need the money? No, in reality, they don't feel they have enough. Consider an interesting example, Bernie Madoff. He was a successful investor who already had billions of dollars, but he still engaged in fraud, simply because he wanted more. When his scam was caught, he not only lost all his assets, but also went to jail. His family's reputation was ruined. What does this story teach us? It teaches us that when we don't understand enough, we risk our happiness, respect, and self-satisfaction. It's natural to start craving more and more. Even after a promotion and a salary increase, we don't find peace because there are people around us who earn more than us. Our problem isn't that we have less money, but that we are always comparing ourselves. Whatever we have seems fine until we see someone else doing better than us. We forget that this race has no finish line. If we don't learn to be content, no matter how much we earn, it will never make us happy. The feeling of enough is crucial because greed has no limits, and when we don't control it, it consumes us. This doesn't mean we should stop working hard or advancing financially, but it means we should understand that money is just a means, not the ultimate goal of life. We need to decide how much is enough so that we can live a balanced and happy life. Those who understand this live more satisfied lives. They connect their happiness not with piles of money, but with their relationships, experiences, and peace of mind. They know that the most precious things in life cannot be bought, such as love, friendship, health, and tranquility. If we quickly understand the truth of what is enough, we can avoid unnecessary stress and make our lives more meaningful. Rule 4. The magic of compounding. What's the biggest secret to growing money? Some call it smart investment. Some consider it a good strategy, while others think it's essential to earn a lot of money. But the truth is far simpler and more powerful: compound interest. This is the world's greatest financial magic, which, if understood, can make anyone rich. If you were asked who the greatest investor in the world is, your answer would probably be Warren Buffett. This is true, but do you know that most of his wealth grew when he was in his 70s? He's not a superhuman. He simply understood and adopted one simple thing: the magic of compounding. He not only invested wisely, but did so for a long time. That's his real secret. Imagine you have $10,000 and you invest it at 10% interest each year. At the end of the first year, you'll have $11,000. In the second year, when the interest accrues again, it will be on $11,000, not $10,000, causing your amount to grow even faster. Over time, this process becomes so powerful that in the later years, the money grows exponentially on its own. Warren Buffett's journey is a prime example. He started investing at the age of 11 and continued consistently. If he had started investing at age 30, he wouldn't be a billionaire today. This means that the sooner you start investing money, the better. But there's a problem here. Most people lack patience. They look for shortcuts in their desire to earn money quickly. make risky deals, and then, upon failing, assume that investing isn't for them. They need to understand that compounding isn't like a magic trick that gives instant results. It works like a bamboo tree, slow growth initially, but once it picks up speed, it becomes unstoppable. Now, think about how many people keep postponing saving money, thinking they have less money now or will save more later. But this is the biggest mistake. If someone invests just $1,000 every month at age 20 and maintains it for 40 years with a 12% annual return, it can turn into millions by retirement. However, if someone starts at age 30, they'll need to invest twice as much to achieve the same result. The biggest lesson here is that the most important thing in investing is time, not just money. Investing more is good, but maintaining the investment for a longer period is even more important. This is why patient investors always win. Another wonder of compounding is that it applies not just to money, but to every aspect of life. Knowledge also grows by compounding. If you improve by just 1% every day, you can be 37 times better by the end of the year. The same rule applies to our habits, fitness, and relationships. Those who make continuous small improvements get far ahead of others after a few years. So if you want to understand the real secret to wealth, it's not some hidden strategy. It's simply understanding that miracles happen with time and patience. Those who start investing early and remain patient slowly but surely move towards financial freedom. This is the magic of compounding, slow but most powerful. Rule 5: getting rich versus staying rich. Earning wealth is one thing, but maintaining it is an entirely different game. Many people become rich, but only a few manage to preserve their wealth for a long time. There are countless examples in the world where people suddenly became very rich, but lost everything in just a few years because the rules for earning money and managing it are different. Imagine you've worked hard and earned a lot of money. Now the next question is, will this money always stay with you? Will you be able to grow it in the future too? History is a witness to the fact that those who focused only on getting rich but didn't learn the art of staying rich ultimately failed. The biggest example is Bernie Madoff. He was once one of the most successful investors in the world, but his greed and wrong decisions landed him in jail. On the other hand, look at Warren Buffett. He not only became rich, but also maintained his wealth because he understood risk management and developed a mindset of long-term persistence. Confidence is necessary to earn money, but humility and caution are needed to maintain it. When people become rich, they start believing that they will always be right. They start taking more risks, thinking that their every decision will be perfect, and this overconfidence becomes the beginning of their downfall. There are many examples around us where people suddenly became rich but lost everything due to some mistakes. The stories of lottery winners are proof of this. According to a report, 70% of lottery winners become poor again within a few years because they didn't adopt the mindset of maintaining money. To stay rich, the two most important qualities are fear and patience. Fear here doesn't mean you should be afraid of investing or earning money, but rather understanding that things can always go wrong. Those who understand this fear always have a backup plan. They diversify their investments to reduce risk, and they don't take big risks unnecessarily. The second important quality is patience. Earning money requires patience, but maintaining it requires even more patience. Many people take too many risks in the pursuit of becoming rich in a short time, and when things go wrong, they lose everything. On the other hand, those who grow slowly but steadily endure for a long time. A good example of this is Japanese companies. They adopt very safe strategies, avoid taking big risks, and because of this, they remain stable in the market for decades. It is also important to understand that making money can be a one-time process, but saving and growing it is a lifelong game. The best way to stay rich is to keep reminding yourself that things will not always go according to your plan. You have to be prepared for wrong decisions and structure your investments in such a way that if there is ever a recession, you survive. Most importantly, whenever you earn money, create a strategy to avoid losing it. You should always have a safety net, whether it's an emergency fund, diversified investments, or a mindset of limiting risks. If you want to stay rich, you have to recognize your limitations. You have to accept that you cannot be right every time. So you have to keep your strategy balanced. Those who understand this not only become rich, but also maintain their wealth for a long time. Rule 6. Tails you win. We often view the world of money and investing as rational and mathematical. We think that if a strategy is working, it will always work, and if it's failing, it's useless. But the reality is very different. The world of money is like a lottery, where a few big decisions, some extraordinary deals, or a few rare opportunities can change the whole game. To understand this, we need to grasp the secret of tails you win. Imagine you're flipping a coin. There's a 50% chance of heads and a 50% chance of tails. But here's a twist. If it's heads, nothing changes. But if it's tails, you get a 100-fold reward. How many times would you want to flip this coin? The answer is clear. As many times as possible. Because even if you lose most of the time, one win will cover all your losses and give you a tremendous advantage. This principle also applies in the world of investment and money. Most successful investors aren't right every time. They are wrong many times. But their few extraordinary successes wipe out all their losses and make them big winners. Think about companies like Apple. To reach where they are today, how many failures must they have faced? Steve Jobs launched many products that flopped, but when the iPhone came, it changed the entire technology industry. This is the magic of tails you win. If we look at the stock market, we'll find that most companies are average or unsuccessful, but only a few companies change the entire market. If an investor invests in these few companies at the right time, they can make huge profits despite all other wrong decisions. The biggest lesson here is that every decision cannot be weighed on a win-lose scale. Sometimes you have to learn from failures and consider them part of a process. If you are working on a strategy where small failures are happening, but you are confident that a big success can change your entire direction, then you have to be patient. For this reason, the most successful people are not afraid to take risks. They know that sometimes their decisions will be wrong. But one right decision can bring such a big change that all other mistakes become irrelevant. The best example of this is Jeff Bezos. Amazon invested in many projects that completely failed. The Fire Phone, the Amazon Dash, and many other unsuccessful products. But when they launched Amazon Web Services, it was so successful that the success of this one project made all other failures insignificant. This doesn't mean you should take risks thoughtlessly, but it means you shouldn't be afraid of failures, because true victory comes from a big success after those failures. Those who understand this mindset dare to make bigger decisions in life. They're not discouraged by small losses because they know that if they stay in the game, one day their coin will land on tails, and then they will achieve a big win. This is the true secret of tails you win. Rule 7. Freedom. If you were asked what the greatest purpose of money is, what would your answer be? Some would say security, some comfort, and some luxury. But in reality, the greatest power of money is that it gives you freedom, the freedom to live your life on your own terms. Most of us are struggling for something: a good job, a higher salary, a bigger house, an expensive car. But if you think about it, all these things ultimately lead us to the same goal. We want control over our time and decisions. We want to live our lives as we please, without anyone's orders or compulsions. This is true freedom. Imagine you have enough money that you don't have to work just to meet your needs, but you work simply because you want to. This is the greatest pleasure. It gives you self-respect, contentment, and most importantly, the power to be happy. There's a difference between being wealthy and being free. Many rich people aren't truly free. They drive expensive cars, run big businesses, but still don't have their own time. They are so trapped by others' expectations, societal pressures, and their own ambitions that they can't live their lives on their own terms. On the other hand, some people don't have a lot of money, but they are completely free. They decide when, where, and how they will work. True wealth isn't just in bank balances, but in how much freedom you have to live your life. Those who understand this use their money in a way that allows them to save their time and energy. They make investments that can provide them with long-term freedom, not just immediate comforts. If you observe, the happiest people in the world are those who have control over their time. They can do what they want, when they want, and wherever they want. They can spend time with their families, pursue their hobbies, and prioritize their peace of mind. However, gaining this freedom requires some sacrifices. Sometimes we have to avoid wasteful spending, curb small desires, and be patient. We have to understand that a little saving and wisdom today can put us in a position in the future where we can live on our own terms. Those who understand the importance of freedom don't just consider money something to spend. They see it as a means to gain control over their lives. They don't earn money just to become rich, but they earn it so they don't remain under anyone else's control. Ultimately, the biggest question is, do you just want to be rich, or do you truly want to be free? If your goal is freedom, you need to develop a new way of thinking about money. You need to understand that true wealth is what gives you the power to make your own life decisions. This is true happiness, true success, and the greatest power of money. Rule 8. Saving money. Whenever we talk about getting rich, our attention always goes to earning more. We think that if our salary or business income increases, all our financial troubles will disappear. But in reality, saving money is the most important financial habit that can make anyone rich. Many people think that money can only be saved when our income is very high. But this is not true. History is a witness to the fact that many millionaires and billionaires went bankrupt simply because they couldn't save money. On the other hand, many ordinary people became financially independent just by the habit of saving. The biggest example is Warren Buffett. He is one of the richest people in the world, but his lifestyle is extremely simple. He still lives in the same small house he bought in 1968. His car is an ordinary car, not a luxury one. He controls his expenses because he knows that wealth doesn't come just from earning more, but from smart saving. Imagine if your income increases by 20% every year, but your expenses increase by 25%. Can you become rich? No, because spending more than you earn can never make you rich. But if you save 30 to 40% of your income, you gradually become financially strong. The power of saving money lies in the fact that it gives you freedom. When you have enough savings, you don't have to fear any small financial shock. If you lose your job or there's a recession in your business, your savings can support you. These savings also give you the opportunity to invest, through which you can gradually increase your wealth. Many people think that saving money means suppressing their needs, but this is a misconception. Saving doesn't mean you become utterly stingy. Rather, it means learning to balance your desires and needs. If you spend thoughtlessly, no amount of income can make you rich. But if you save wisely and prioritize your future, you can become financially strong even with a low income. True power isn't in big houses or expensive cars, but in the peace of mind that comes when you don't have to worry about money. When you have enough savings, you are not forced by your job. You can wait for the right opportunities, and most importantly, you can live life on your own terms. If you don't adopt the habit of saving money, you can never be financially secure, no matter how high your income is. Saving is not something that only rich people can do. It is possible for everyone, provided they set their priorities correctly. Ultimately, the real secret to getting rich and staying rich is this: spend less, save more, and invest your money wisely. Those who understand this simple rule slowly but surely move towards financial independence. Conclusion: the psychology of money teaches us that money is not just a game of mathematics, but it is deeply connected to our emotions, thoughts, and habits. The biggest message of this book is that there is a big difference between getting rich and staying rich. Earning money is one thing, but managing it correctly and bringing freedom into your life is the real game. In this journey, we have seen how luck and risk affect our financial success, why greed can destroy us, and why compounding is the most powerful weapon. We also learned that saving money and investing wisely is more important than just earning it, so that we can live our lives on our own terms. True wealth is not in expensive homes or luxury cars, but in the peace of mind where we don't have to worry about money. If we look at money with the right perspective and adopt a long-term mindset, we can not only become financially strong, but also live a happy and balanced life. If you liked this video, please like it, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to watch more such insightful videos in the future. Also, don't forget to press the bell icon so you get notifications for our new videos. See you in the next video with interesting and useful lessons from a new book. Until then, keep learning, keep growing.